Sanandam Sarvadanandam Sarvananda Pradayakam Shri Krishnam Satchidanandam Muktirupam Samashraye Mangalam Sarvarupaye Kamadhenvecha Mangalam Mangalam Shri Krishna Devaya Gopalaya Astu Mangalam. Well, distinguished ladies scholars on the dais and distinguished scholars and distinguished audience of the dais. Since morning, we have been listening to wonderful lectures and unimaginable informations presented by distinguished scholars and distinguished personalities. All the while, we have been listening to the greatness of the Vedas and our responsibility to maintain and guard the Vedas, and how it has to be done has also been conveyed to us. Now, we have actually come to the subject matter or the theme of the conference. The theme of the conference is Veda and Vijnana, or Veda Vijnana. See, among the several discoveries that have taken place in the course of history, none is more significant than science in Sanskrit, science in the Vedas, Vede Vijnana. Interest in the studies of Veda has increased enormously all over the world in the past 2-3 centuries. This is a technological age, and we are in an age of computers and supercomputers. Let us see what the computer scientist has to say about science in Sanskrit. The whole of morning we have heard what our Indian scholars and Vedic scholars had to say about it. Now let us see the impression and the experience of outsiders, because, as I told you, the Western scientists also have taken a lot of interest these days. Professor Rick Briggs, a computer scientist from the University of California, he has stated in one of the magazines called Artificial Intelligence. He was in the course of commenting on the invaluable tradition of the ancient Sanskrit or ancient scientists as such, not Sanskrit seers but ancient, he calls them as ancient Indian scientists. What has he to say? He says that the Sanskrit grammarians have already found a solution for the most difficult problem of computer science, namely natural language processing. This was stated in his magazine called Artificial Intelligence. He did not stop at it. He further said, it is tempting to think that they were software engineers without a hardware. What more compliments we want? This is about the most modern subject called computers. So Sanskrit, the Vedic Sanskrit, because Vyakarana is one of the Vedangas, has really something to contribute something new, which the computer scientists, which the computer science did not know. That's fine. Then, the NASA, on this achievement, NASA also has made a statement, and the statement is, there is no language as perfect as the Sanskrit language for computers. Sanskrit is unique in the whole set of languages all over the world. It has got an amazing amount of scientific information which is suitable and required for the present day world. And all this information, as I told you, is because of the scientific tradition that we have. It cannot just be just dumped or just explored all of a sudden. It was there. See, much before the Greek civilization, a great Vedic civilization flourished in India. And this civilization was so rich that they could give information about grammar, about language. In the morning, one of the scholars was mentioning there are only two things. One is the language, the other is the mind. So their thoughts and their deliberations were already on, and it had reached a perfect level. When we look into the present day situation, whether we have to accept what some people say, that there is no science, or science, of course, was not the aim of the Vedas or the Vedic literature. It was not the aim. The aim of the present day scientists is different. They have a different aim. So why do you compare like that? But why we have started such conferences? Why we are trying to project the concept of science and scientific information in the Vedas? This is very important for us. What I want to tell you is the problems that are bogging the mind of the present day scientists must have been bothering them also. So the books that have been left finished or unfinished is of great value for us today, because we can just study them in the context of contemporary science, or continue. If they are seminal in their contribution, we can continue further, like the way we have the contribution to computer science. Today, what has happened there? All computer scientists who were into this field of artificial intelligence, they have all become Sanskrit scholars today. All of them have taken their PhDs. They have all become two-in-one, and thousands and lakhs of software products have come in the market today. So like that, now somewhere they have got a guidance. Like that, let us see. So these works that have been left by these scientists, they will be of great value. We have to preserve them, we have to study them, and we have to continue with them and see how we can just coordinate it with the present day science. Or in the technique, the modern science is presented, we may just adopt some new method there. But the question is, Vede Vijnanam Kutaha? Some of the scholars come and ask me, Vedic sciences? What is it? What are they? What are they like? So for such people, science means only Western science, which is very wrong. We have Vedic sciences also. Science has two branches today all over the world. It is recognized, Western science and Vedic science. And how I am going to tell you all that. So the Indian thought, the whole of the morning, we have been eulogizing the Vedas, their contribution and all that. So the Indian thought at its highest is rooted in the Vedas. What are these Vedas? The Vedas themselves say, Shrestho hi Vedah tapaso dhijatah brahmajnanam hridaye sambabhuva. The Gopatha Brahmana says, Shrestho hi Vedah. Veda is knowledge par excellence. So it has been received by our ancient sages as revelations. So this revealed knowledge is very perfect. Sarvajnanamayo hi Vedaha. Veda contains all sorts of information. So there is no wonder that it contains some scientific information also. But the strong point of Vedic tradition is Adhyatma Vidya. That we can never forget. This makes man, Adhyatma Vidya is the science of consciousness. which makes man understand his domain, his circle, his limitations, and his relationship with the whole world. The Vedas declare that if man has to progress in this world, he has to be fully aware of this principle of consciousness, which streams in two ways, the outer and the inner. The outer manifestation is science, and the inner manifestation is wisdom, Vedic wisdom, wisdom or philosophy, whatever you call. So this wisdom gives value and responsibility to science. So in this context, see, there is some instruction for me that I should include some Kannada language also. Of course, we are lovers of Kannada also. So ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೂ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಹೀಗೆ ಈ ವೇದಿಕ್ ವಿಸ್ಡಮ್ ಎಂಬತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನಮಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕವರೀಸ್ಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಅದನ್ನು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಕ್ಕೆ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಅದನ್ನು ವಿವೇಕವಾಗಿ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಗೆ ವೇದಿಕ್ ವಿಸ್ಡಮ್ ಬೇಕು. ನಮಗೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ, ಏನು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಅಂತ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಇನ್ನೂ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಟು ಇಂಟು ಅವರ್ ಮೈಥಾಲಜಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಮೈಥಾಲಜಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕಥೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಸಂಗ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಸಮುದ್ರ ಮಥನ ಪ್ರಸಂಗ. ಸಮುದ್ರ ಮಥನ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು? ದೇವಾಸುರರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಸಮುದ್ರ ಮಥನ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಯಿತು? ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ವಸ್ತುಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂತು ನಮಗೆ, ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ಮಹಾಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ, ವಿಷ್ಣು ಗಾಟ್ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಹರ್ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಹೀಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ವಸ್ತು, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಏನು ಬಂತು? ವಿಷವೂ ಬಂತು. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ದ ಗಾಡ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಡೆಮನ್ಸ್ churned the ocean to get Amrit, they got many gifts. Along with the gifts came poison also. What happened then? Ella hahakara shuru aitu, visha banದ ತಕ್ಷಣ. Then Shiva came, drank the poison and saved them. But today in this modern world, what a similar situation has been repeated today. The scientists have churned the ocean of science. They got so many benefits, the day-to-day material benefits. We got the TV, we got the mixie, so many things. Along with came the atom bomb. The nuclear weapons have come today. Man is not able to sleep peacefully. This is the poison. Now who is Shiva to drink this poison? It is the Vedas and the Vedic wisdom. This is the greatest contribution of the Vedas and the whole world has accepted today. ಈ ಪ್ರಸಂಗ ನಮಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಈ ಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಔಚಿತ್ಯವನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಎಂಬತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ. ಈ ವೇದಿಕ್ ವಿಸ್ಡಮ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಇಷ್ಟೇನಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಮಗೆ ದ ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸಸ್ ಆರ್ ಫೌಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ವೇದಾಸ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಮೇಡ್. Oh, why do you compete with the present day scientists? Can you just go and reach them? Can you contribute something? Yes. The Vedas have something, some knowledge new to give to the present day science. The science which cannot have, which cannot get, which cannot have. So now I am going to tell you, ವೇದೇ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಂ ಅನ್ನುವುದರ ಒಂದು ಔಚಿತ್ಯವನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಈ ವೇದದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಕಲ ಜ್ಞಾನಗಳು ಇದೆ. ವೇದಯತಿ ಪ್ರಕಾಶಯತಿ ಸರ್ವಂ ಇತಿ ವೇದಃ, ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಪ್ರಸಾದ. ಅದಕ್ಕೇನೆ ಯಾಜ್ಞವಲ್ಕ್ಯ, ಸೊ ನೋ ವಂಡರ್ ಐ ಶುಡ್ ಸೇ, ಯಾಜ್ಞವಲ್ಕ್ಯ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡೆಡ್ all the branches of knowledge, the Chaturvedas, the Upavedas, the Shadangas, the Darshanas, Smriti, Shruti, Sutra literature, Itihasas, Puranas, as the breadth of the infinite reality. Infinite reality. ದೇವರ ಒಂದು ಉಚ್ಛ್ವಾಸ. ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ? ಕೇವಲ ವೇದಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲಿಲ್ಲ. ವೇದದಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ಇತಿಹಾಸ, ಪುರಾಣ, ಕಾಳಿದಾಸಾದಿ ಕಾವ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಒಂದು ಉಸಿರು ಎಂಬತಕ್ಕಂತಹದ್ದಾಗಿ ಯಾಜ್ಞವಲ್ಕ್ಯರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ಡ್ ದಟ್. ಹೀಗೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ಓಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್. ಇದನ್ನು ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು? ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, if Veda, see he compares Veda, if Veda is a gold mine, the later works are all gold coins printed at different times. Without the background of the Veda, we cannot understand these works at all. ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ವೇದವೇ ಮೂಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸರ್ವಜ್ಞಾನಮಯೋ ಹಿ ವೇದ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ವೇದೋ ಹಿ ವೈ ಸರ್ವ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಮೂಲಂ ಅಂತಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಸರ್ವಜ್ಞಾನ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು? ಸರ್ವ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಮೂಲಂ. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಜ್ಞಾನ, ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ, ಪ್ರಜ್ಞಾನ, ಸುಜ್ಞಾನ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ ಅಂತ ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟಿದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಮೂಲ ವೇದ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಕಾಯಿನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಲೇಟರ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್. ಇಂಥ ವೇದದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಫಸ್ಟು ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ತಜ್ಞರು ಇಂದಿನ ಕಾಲದ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಕ್ಕೆ ತಿಳಿಯದ ಒಂದು ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. ಇದನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ನೋಟ್ ಡೌನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಪೂರ್ವ ಪಕ್ಷ, ದ ಪ್ರೈಮಾ ಫ್ಯಾಸಿ ವ್ಯೂ ಈಸ್ ದ ವೇದಾಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ಟು ದ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್, ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಇದನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋದು ಒಂದು ಅಂಶ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋದು ನಮಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಸೆಮಿನಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಫಿನಾಮಿನಲ್ ಇನ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಉಪವೇದಾಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈಡ್ ದಮ್ ಆಸ್ ಸೋಷಿಯೋ ಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈಡ್ ಸೈನ್ಸಸ್, ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸಸ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇವಾಗ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಟೂ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಬ್ರಾಂಚಸ್ ಆಫ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ ಟುಡೇ. The world has recognized the contribution of wonderful concepts in the field of management. Today at Harvard University, I am giving you an authentic information because two of my cousins are studying at Harvard University. The MBA department has appointed an Indian professor to teach ancient management techniques in business management. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ರಾಮಾಯಣ, ಮಹಾಭಾರತ ಮತ್ತು ಅರ್ಥಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಗ್ರಂಥಗಳನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡು ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗಿವ್ ಅನ್ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಶನ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ ಪರಿಚಯವೇ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಇದಾದ ಮೇಲೆ one of the medical students, you must have some of you who are familiar with the web, downloading the web and seeing information, it is recorded there. He has referred to what is called as astral walk. Nammalli samadhi yoga anbettakantadu, there is nothing parallel anywhere in the Western world to yoga. The science of yoga and yoga shastra. ಈ ದರ್ಶನದಲ್ಲಿ, ಯೋಗ ದರ್ಶನದಲ್ಲಿ ಆತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಎ ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್. ದಿಸ್ ನೇಮ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ದೇ ಆಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ವರ್ತಕ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ವರ್ತಕ್. He says, I was a medical student for 5 years and I was taught only science and science. Medical science comprises all other sciences. And then I did my MS in surgery also. There also again science. And somehow I was drawn to the science of yoga. I took up, started practicing it. And he says what all happened during the course of these 10 years. And after 10 years, he gets the siddhi. Siddhi andre nimagella gotte ide anta ankondiddeni. Siddhi is one of the byproducts of the mainstream of yoga. ಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಸಾಧನೆಯೇ ನಮಗೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ದರ್ಶನದಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಖ್ಯದ ಗುರಿ, the main aim, the main goal is the achievement of salvation, the achievement of moksha. But this is a byproduct. ಸಿದ್ಧಿಗಳು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಸಿದ್ಧಿಗೋಸ್ಕರನೇ ಆತ ಈ ಯೋಗವನ್ನು ಓದಿದ್ದು. ಈ ಓದಿದ್ದಾಗ ಅವರಿಗೆ ದಿವ್ಯ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತು. 10 ವರ್ಷ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ. ದಿವ್ಯ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತು. ಸೊ he thought he has achieved his goal. He was eager to test and assess the truth about it. ಹೇಗೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಅಂತ. ಆಗ NASA has announced that they are going to launch that Viking 1 to Mars. ಮಂಗಳ ಗ್ರಹಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾರ್ಸ್ನ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. He thought this was the right opportunity for him to assess and test his achievement. ಆವಾಗ he invites 4 people in one of the rooms. He makes them sit, 4 people around him. He sits at the center, gets into samadhi. Samadhi hogbittu, he says his whole experience is recorded. It has all been published also. It has been proved and accepted by NASA. And then he goes and lands in Mars. ತನ್ನ ಯೋಗ ಸಾಧನದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನ ದೇಹ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ. ಅವನ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಮಯ ಕೋಶವನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಆ ಸಾಧನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾತಂಜಲಿ ಸೂತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡಿದವನು ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಮಾರ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ನೋಡ್ತಾನೆ. ತಣ್ಣ ಗಾಳಿ ಬೀಸೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ. 1, 2, 3 ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ. See, he watches about 21 points and then gets back from Mars and he's into his body and he's out of samadhi. And all these people watching, they ask, what? He gives takedown. This is what happened. I landed. There was a cool breeze. To my left, this was there. To my right, it was there. I saw this. I saw this. There was some hub here. There was some mark. Everything. About 21 points. He says, I myself am testing whether I have got this clairvoyance. Clairvoyance and clairaudience anta. Divya drishti andre clairvoyance. Divya clairaudience andre divya vani. ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಅಪೌರುಷೇಯ ಬಂತ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಪೌರುಷೇಯ ಅಂತ ವೇದಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೀತಾರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬಂದು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಈ ದಿವ್ಯ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ 11 ತಿಂಗಳಾದ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾಸಾ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ published what all the photographs have recorded, and both of them tally point to point without any difference. They were stunned and they have accepted it. How a man within 15 minutes could go to Mars, whereas NASA has spent millions of rupees and has spent 2 years of precious time to get the same information. Then don't you think that we have something to give to the science of today, to the present day science? We do have. There is no doubt about it. And that is not the one. Later on, when they announced about Jupiter, he has landed on Jupiter and he has come back. But these siddhis are not so simple. He has to take a vow that he is not going to misuse these siddhis. He had taken a vow that he is going to use this only for science. And that's how he could. And it is there. And NASA has accepted, and today, that is why everywhere abroad they have introduced the study of yoga. Then coming to, this is one, another technology. I am not going to some theoretical things. What has been proved and what has the Western world has approved of it. And now going to the yagas and yajnas that we are doing. This is called as the technology of yajna. When you call it, when you use it, a modern term, it becomes science. When you use the Sanskrit word, it is nothing for us. It is all our prejudice. The way we have been taught the Vedas, that the way we are looking at the Vedas. So this is the technology of yajna. When a foreigner says the technology of yajna, yes, what is in Veda? Vedohi yajnartham abhipravrittaha, he says. The Vedas came into existence because of yajna. Yajno vai shreshtatamam karma. He says, shreshtatamam, superlative he has used. That is the best karma, he says, of all the karmas. The karma kanda says. We have the karma kanda and the jnana kanda. In the karma kanda, yajno vai shreshtatamam karma, he says. Then he says, where is the navel of the earth? There is a question. Where is the navel of the earth? Earth is Prithvi. It is feminine in nature. Where is the navel? He says, Ayam yajno vishwasya bhuvanasya nabhihi. This yajna is the navel, that is the feeder, that is the nourisher, that is the sustainer of this whole world. That is a statement given. And just now, the Purusha Sukta was recited. Yajnena yajnama yajanta devaha tani dharmani prathamanyasan. So it is because of yajna the creation came into life, into existence. So yajna is connected with life, with creation. Yajna is a bio-symbol. It is so scientific. And they are the first principles. Tani dharmani prathamanyasan, he says. They are the first principles of creation, he says. And again, the word yajna, if you go into the adhyatmic thing, it is something different. In this connection, regarding this yajna, today, the United States of America is opening a university called Agnihotra University. They are not fools. They are not fools. Agnihotra University, where they are going to conduct this interdisciplinary research. And apart from that, I myself am linked with the Shaktiveda Wellness Mission, where we conducted a yajna for 80 hours continuously, 28 nations covered on the satellite the effect of yajna on the environment. What is called as environmental science today was a very simple, ordinary thing for them. It was a duty, it was a must for the safety of human beings. Now in this, regarding this yajna, I want to tell you something which is very important. See, recently in Austria, a farmer was asked, they said there was a lot of radiation and it was polluting all his crops and the food. And some yoga teacher, and yoga is now spread all over the world, and everybody knows about yoga, and he was asked to perform this Agnihotra in order to avoid radiation of his crops. He was doing it. And then what happened? Except in his form, this radiation had affected food and all the crops. He makes a statement, Agnihotra ash for radiation problem is the title. The time is soon when scientists from Europe will declare that all food grown in Europe is radioactive. They have no solution to eradicate radioactivity and diseases consequent on this. And it is only the Agnihotra, the technology of yajna, which can save people all over the world from radioactivity. And Agnihotra ash is said to be a medicine for any kind of diseases. Yajna ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಅದರ ಆಶ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೋಗಿ ಓಡೋಡಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಹಣೆಗೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇವೆ ನಾವು. ಯಾತಕ್ಕೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇವೆ? ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪನಾದರೂ ಟಚ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಅದನ್ನು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನು ಬಾಯಿಗೆ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಬೇಕು, ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. ಅದಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಹೋಗಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಹಣೆಗೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನಾವು. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತು ನೋಡಿದ್ರ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರನೇ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. ಈ ಯಜ್ಞ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಈ ಯಜ್ಞದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನು ತುಂಬ ಇದೆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ನು. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು give scope, you see, for others, no? Then regarding Ayurveda. Ayurvedadalli ಏನಿದೆ? India is the motherland of Ayurveda. Now it took its compact form 5,000 years ago, but today it is on the global map. I don't want to go through anything. And one more thing I would like to reveal to you is, there is one institution in Maharashtra. I thought that there is one lady from Maharashtra here. She should clarify. Rishi Krishi Deshpande Agricultural Technique. See, that is what the board says. Rishi Krishi Deshpande Agricultural Technique. And this is based on Vedic literature and cosmic energy. The aim of this technique is to keep the soil alive forever with the help of cosmic energy, as it is the only source of plant growth. So there are so many other things that I have taken. And you know, see the Vedas, as I told you, Sarvajnanamayo, we have the Arthashastra, and we have the Rajya Shastra, Vanijya Shastra, Krishi Shastra, Loha, metallurgy, and nobody can beat India in the field of metallurgy. And the iron pillar which stands in Delhi is a proof as to how they have purified that metal. We ourselves have lost the track of it. So there is Rasayana Shastra, your Bhauta Shastra, Ganita Shastra, and there is a lady here who has done her doctorate in Bharatiya Ganita Shastra, for which I myself am the guide. And what an amount of information. We have given so many new things about equations which are not found, and where values are very nearer, very close compared to the modern values. The pi value, and then the simultaneous equations, quadratic equations, and regarding trigonometry, analytical geometry, calculus, wonderful ways of solving the problem. A small portion was prescribed for the second PU people. I was so curious There was a professor called Singaperumal in our college. He was supposed to be a prodigy. I used to take all the problems, solve them, and instead of doing other things, all the students, the science students who were eager to take up engineering, I used to work out every sum on the board. They used to be surprised the way the methodology given in Bhaskaracharya's Leelavati, how it was done. And the very method of introduction is so thrilling. You never get bored. Not only that, even our Adhyatmik stories, you read 100 times. I am a professor of English. I read Shakespeare's Hamlet, Midsummer Night's Dream. You can read once, or at the most, if you want to teach higher classes, you may have to read twice, but the third time you will not be able to read. But one simple Krishna Parijata story you take, let it be in a pictorial book for children, I sit and read it. I don't get bored. You just see the wonderful way. Today, the Panchatantra and Hitopadesha, it is this animation technique has been introduced all over the world. Where was it before? They accept, they acknowledge openly that it was from the Panchatantra and Hitopadesha. So friends, now the days that the Vedas are just beliefs and taboos have gone. The whole world exemplifies the most precious scientific information existing in the Vedas, Vedic literature, Sanskrit and Sanskrit literature. So now being responsible people, responsible Vedic scholars and Sanskrit scholars of this country, it is in our hands as to how to do this, how to make it available for the youth of this country, for the future generation, how to maintain them. But let us not forget that it is still a secret. The science in the Vedas is still a secret, not known to the common man, the lay reader, or the youth of this country. So how to unveil this knowledge, this scientific wisdom to the youngsters is a great responsibility, is a challenge. And this challenge has been taken up by this Arshadara, and all kudos to them. But I have one suggestion to make, because in front of all of you, by taking decisions at your back is of no use. I am telling you what you can contribute here, having been convinced that it is so precious and we are not ready to lose them. So you have to do something. He says, Krite cha pratikritihi esha dharma sanatanaha. You receive so much from the world, from the society. So before leaving, you think what you can give, how you can compensate it. A balance has to be maintained, because the Vedas have always maintained the balance between the material world and the spiritual world. So this balance has to be maintained. So take a vow that you are going to encourage the study of Sanskrit, learning of Sanskrit amongst your friends, with your children, grandchildren, and your friends. First of all, we have to see that this language is kept alive and is kept known to the public. And then, wherever you find these Vedic schools, small Vedic sessions, send your children, and at your free time, you go and learn the Vedas, get exposed to them. These two things you can do at least. And whenever you find such programs, go there. You get free information. You need not have to study. You may find, oh, where do I understand? Nange artha agodillappa Veda anta. English barದೇ ಇರೋರು ಯಾರು? ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಹೇಳಬಹುದು, ಆದರೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಒಂಥರ ಕನ್ನಡದಿಂದ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ಗೆ, ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ದಿಂದ ಕನ್ನಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇದಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೇ ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಕಾನ್ಫರೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲೇ 2-3 ಪೇಪರ್ ಇದೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ, ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೂ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರೀ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ವೇದ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು, ವೇದದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಹೇಗೆ ಬಂತು, ನಾವು ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ ವೈಜ್ಞಾನಿಕವಾಗಿ, ಕತೆ ಬುರುಡೆಗಳಲ್ಲ. ವೈಜ್ಞಾನಿಕವಾಗಿ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಾದಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಫೇತ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. when faith is there only, ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾವಾನ್ ಲಭತೆ ಜ್ಞಾನಂ, ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾ ಹಿ ಪರಮಾಗತಿಹಿ. ಈ ಶ್ರದ್ಧೆಯನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಂಥ ಕಾನ್ಫರೆನ್ಸಸ್ಸು ನಮಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಉಪಯೋಗವಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಕಾನ್ಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ವಿದ್ವಾನ್ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಭಟ್ಟರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ನನಗೆ ಈ ಅವಕಾಶವನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಮತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಇದು ಉಪಕಾರವಾಗಲಿ, ಈ ಕಾನ್ಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಜಯವಾಗಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹಾರೈಸಿ ನನ್ನ ಈ 2 ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೇನೆ.